I meant to send the desperate, whining text to my mom. Instead, I accidentally sent it to the Ice Queen herself. Dad's little treasure is about to go broke trying to afford a sugar baby. You better wire some cash fast. The reply from my boss, Miranda Priestley, was instantaneous. Peter Parker, if you even think about getting a sugar baby, I have a friend at the net who would love to have a chat with you about solicitation. Seeing the message was unsendable, I did the only logical thing as switched my phone to airplane mode, lay down flat on my bed, and began mentally drafting my resignation letter. I never expected that, in the middle of the night, Miranda Priestley would start writing a novel's worth of thirsty texts. 1200 Peter, where did you go? I know you're not asleep. You didn't actually go find a sugar baby, did you? You're broke, and still trying to play the big shot. 600 darling, why don't you just look at me? Am I not more beautiful than them? I'd made a bet with my mother. I told her I could move to New York City and build a life for myself without touching the family trust fund. She just laughed, a cold, dismissive sound. You won't last a month before you come crawling back to us, complaining, shit said. My father was more considerate, but I was determined to prove them wrong. So I blanketed the city with my resume. The next day, I got a call for an interview at the most prestigious company of all, Priestley Holdings. I did a victory lap around my 2,000 square foot law. Thanks to my undeniable talent and intellect, I landed the job. It was just a junior assistant internship, but it was enough to glow to my mother for a solid 2 weeks. The best part, the CEO wasn't some pot-bellied, 50-year-old man. It was Miranda Priestley, a woman so devastatingly beautiful it was almost offensive. They called her the silver-haired Buddha, but in my experience, she was anything but serene. My days as her assistant were a special kind of hell. Parker, a glass of water, in my office. E.F. Miranda, a moment later. Parker, I need a coffee. Right away. Not long after. Parker, a glass of ice. Of course. Pierre Parker, get me some blank paper. This went on all day, and it didn't even stop at 5 p.m. I was halfway home when she called, demanding I deliver a file to her townhouse. When she opened the door, she was fresh from a shower, still dripping water, and my mind filled with thoughts that were anything but professional. Thank you, Parker. You've worked hard. You have no idea. She was one step away from asking me to move in as her live-in butler. She called me 800 times a day. Was being an assistant supposed to be this hard? A month later, I looked at the meager paycheck in my bank account, and immediately texted my mom for a bailout, joking that her treasurer was about to hire a sugar baby, and needed funds. Message sent. I dropped my phone and hopped in the shower, feeling relieved. When I got out, my phone had exploded. As a towel dried my hair, a cold dread washed over me. They'd sent the text to the wrong person. Not to my mother, but to Miranda Priestley. To make matters worse, the typo had changed mom to Ani. This wasn't just an embarrassing moment, it was a career-ending catastrophe. I mentally prepared my 2 weeks' notice. Just pretend you didn't see it. Deal with it in the morning. I switched on airplane mode and went to bed. But on her phone, the monologue continued. 1100 Miranda Priestley, are you on something? Peter, Ani is not a word you can just throw around. And what's so great about a sugar baby? If you dare find one, I won't hesitate to call the police on you for solicitation. 1200 Miranda Priestley, I must not be giving you enough work if you have time to think about hiring companionship. Peter Parker, don't pretend you're asleep. Who was that message for your file? Clearly states you are unmarried. Single. Did you lose a bet? Is this a game of truth or dare say something? 100 Miranda Priestley Parker. Don't tell me you have a crush on me. Are you trying to play hard to get that won't work on me? Stop hiding. I know you're awake. 200 Miranda Priestley, where are you? You didn't really go out, did you? Broke and still trying to impress someone. 300 Miranda Priestley, fine. Your little trick is working. Answer me. Don't pretend you don't see this. If you don't reply, I'll retract it. This isn't fun. Do you really think I'd fall for you so easily? Dream on. I'd never encountered a woman with such a rich inner world. She kept up a one-sided conversation until 5 a.m. Then, at 6 a.m., a message arrived that made my jaw hit the floor. 600 Miranda Priestley, darling. Why don't you just look at me? Am I not more beautiful than them? I was still trying to figure out how to respond when a new message popped up. Miranda Priestley, still typing. It doesn't take that long to compose a sentence, Parker. My fingers trembled on the keyboard. She was watching the screen, waiting. It'd been caught in the act of tipping. I shakily sent a weak reply. Miss Priestley, I wasn't looking properly last night. I sent that to the wrong person, and had a typo. The typing indicator bubbled for a long time. Miranda Priestley, oh. I had a bit too much to drink last night. A friend sent those for me. Miranda Priestley, a woman who could drink a table of Russian oligarchs, was claiming she was drunk. It was the only plausible explanation for the word she'd sent. As I was about to craft a gracious reply, she retracted her last message. I laughed. Even she couldn't believe her own excuse. But then I opened the company-wide Slack channel and saw something that made my blood run cold. In a channel with every single employee, she had posted a message at 3 a.m. Channel, what does it mean when your boyfriend intentionally disappears and stops answering your texts? The message roused every night owl in the company. At first, no one dared to reply. But when a brave V finally broke the ice, the floodgates opened. Dito sales maybe reflect on whether you did something wrong. Random analyst dumped you. Even CEOs have these problems. Lol, marketing head is definitely angry. You need to soothe him. Use a soft tone. Review your texts. And apologize immediately. Another V clue. The boss got ghosted by her boyfriend. Haha, simple. Use your face and your body to win him back. There's nothing that physical intimacy can't solve. I nearly choked on my breakfast. That last comment was from our button-up, straight-laced head of operations. Miranda didn't reply to a single comment, just watched silently. But in a corner of the company's digital world she didn't know about, a new private Slack channel was born. Gossipgate 2.0. Without Miranda present, everyone let loose. I can't believe the Ice Queen is in love. Who could possibly tame Miranda Priestley? He must be a god. What if it's someone in our company? Her message felt intentional, almost like she wanted someone specific to see it. I agree. She's been in the office a lot more lately. At 8 a.m., a man quietly emerged in the channel and claimed the title of Miranda's boyfriend. It was Cole Hockley, a project lead from another department and the nephew of a board member. He was coasting on his family connections, having abandoned his own family's successful company to chase after Miranda. And who could blame him? Miranda was the ultimate prize. At 800 m, in the Gossipgate 2.0 channel, he wrote, "Sorry everyone, fell asleep early last night, didn't see my messages." The implication was clear. He was the boyfriend who hadn't answered Miranda's texts. I nearly laughed out loud while munching on my toast. This guy's audacity was off the charts. Even if the mystery man wasn't me, it sure as hell wasn't this preening peacock. Hilariously, no one replied to him. A moment later, I was added to a new channel. This one had no Miranda and no Cole. The name was simple: Gossipgate 3.0. I howled with laughter. The conversation was already buzzing. Is that guy for real? Hell, claim any title that's available. What if it really is him? Strategic mergers happen all the time in our world. I'm keeping an open mind. Let's observe today. Why 20 years of gossip experience tell me something is different about the boss lately. She's dressing with more flair. Cufflinks, a tight clip. She never wears those on a regular workday. So you were saying the guy is definitely in the company. What about that new assistant in the CEO's office, the pretty one who looks like he'd be easy to bully? Peter Parker. No wait. He looks like he just graduated. Is Miranda into younger guys? I always imagined her with a chiseled god, not a sweet-faced kid. Parker looks like she'd eat him alive. For the record, I graduated 3 years ago. I just have a baby face. And what do they mean? Should she eat me alive? I packed my bag and headed for the door, only to get a notification from Miranda. Miranda Priestley, where are you? Darling, I froze. I didn't even dare open the message, afraid the typing indicator would give me away. A minute later, she retracted it, then sent another. Miranda Priestley, where are you? Wait for me. What abstract art was this woman playing in? Now once I was safely in my car, I replied, on my way in. Is there anything you need, Ms. Priestley? She didn't answer. She must have been busy. I got to the office parking garage early and scrolled through my social media feeds. My jaw dropped again. In the time she hadn't replied to me, she'd posted on her private Instagram story. Caption: my future boyfriend is so adorable. The way his voice gets all soft when he calls me. Who understands this feeling? The timing was right, the character was right, but the content was all wrong. She didn't reply to my text but posted that it couldn't be about me. I clocked in and was just about to sit down when I heard the familiar voice from her office. Parker, have a glass of water. Miss Welton poured it in. Your water, Miss Priestley. She looked up, taking off her gold-rimmed glasses. The intellectual vibe vanished, replaced by her usual intimidating aura. She took a sip. It's hot. I calmly produced another glass I had brought. Here is some warm water. Her pen paused mid-stroke. She took it and had a sip. I immediately presented a third glass. Cold water, I have that too. Her eyes widened in surprise. Did you secretly start a fortune-telling business on the side to pay for your sugar baby? I almost dropped all 3 glasses. No, Miss Priestley. Last night's text Was a joke from my mother. I sent it to you by mistake. Miranda hummed softly. Well, I wasn't hacked last night. Nor was I drunk. Every message I sent you I typed with my own two sober hands. I froze. The darling texts, they were real. Seeing my disbelief, she stood up and walked over to me. Yes, they were real. The feelings are real. The words are real. And the messages are real. She reached out to smooth a stray piece of my hair. I bolted. I literally fled her office, trying to maintain a calm facade for the sake of our colleagues. Thankfully, no one noticed the flustered assistant running for his life. I sat at my desk, head in my hands. I couldn't face her feelings. 1. I was too young to settle down. 2. I couldn't compete with the army of wealthy suitors constantly surrounding her. Just then, Cole Hockley stepped out of the elevator, dressed in an obnoxiously loud suit. He strutted over to the lead assistant, Emily. Emily, what do you think? Don't I look handsome today? Emily, a master of workplace diplomacy, gave him a tight smile. Very handsome, Cole. It's very you. I had to cover my mouth to keep from laughing. Even Emily couldn't give a genuine compliment. Yet Cole, oblivious, continued to preen. Inside the Gossip Gate 3.0 channel, the commentary was ruthless. If that guy is Miranda's boyfriend, I'd rather be blind. Honestly, I'd rather it be Peter Parker. Hey, why the sudden change of heart? Yesterday you said Parker was just a kid. I was engrossed in the drama when her voice cut through the air again. Peter Parker, a coffee. Every eye in the office swiveled to me. Cole smirked and strode toward me. You must be Parker. I'll take the coffee in. You don't need to go. I clapped my hands in approval. Great idea. Cole, thinking he'd successfully intimidated me, proudly carried the coffee into her office, only to be kicked out moments later. Miranda's gaze was like ice as it found me trying to avoid her eyes. Parker, did you not bring your ears to work today? I walked in stiffly as Cole shot me a venomous glare. I turned to Miranda. Priestley, it wasn't my fault. Mr. Hockley insisted on bringing it in. I'm just an intern. I have to do what he says. Cole sputtered. I never said that. I pulled out my phone and played the recording I'd discreetly taken of him ordering me around. The room fell silent. Miranda gave me a look I couldn't quite decipher, then turned her glacial stare on Cole. Mr. Hockley, when exactly did I give you this authority, and why don't I see your name on the project leadership roster that I personally approved? Cole stammered, unable to answer. The team lead position was one he had schemed and used his connections to get. He had messed with the wrong assistant. Seeing him on the verge of tears, Miranda's brow furrowed even deeper. Get out. Cole was demoted on the spot, and the entire office celebrated. The gossip channel was ecstatic. My only reward was being tasked with bringing her the 7th glass of lukewarm water of the day. Hot was too hot, and cold was too cold. She was deliberately making my life difficult. I placed the glass down. Priestley, your water. She looked at me with a satisfied smirk. As she reached for it, I accidentally let go. The water tipped, splashing all over the front of her skirt. My initial plan was just to get her to see me as clumsy so she'd stop bothering me. But now, as the fabric clung to her, we both blushed furiously. I grabbed tissues and instinctively moved to dab the wet spot on her laugh. I'm so sorry, Priestley, I didn't mean to. Before my hand could make contact, she grabbed my wrist, her grip like steel. Where do you think you're cleaning? I froze, looking at her flushed face and heaving chest. I pulled my hand back and ran. Again. Back at my desk, my mind was racing with X-rated fantasies. 20 minutes later, I opened my Instagram to distract myself. The first story in my feed made my heart stop. From Miranda Priestley. Posted 1 minute ago. The way my future boyfriend blushes is so cute. I just want to kiss him. The Gossip Gate 3.0 channel exploded. Did the boss make her man blush on a video call in the office so she has a relationship outside of work? Damn, I want to be a chair in her office right now. I was pretty sure Miranda had lost her mind. To avoid her, I hid in the bathroom for 30 minutes. Miranda Priestley hiding from me. The text made me nearly jump off the toilet. I'm in the men's room. Miranda Priestley. I'm outside the door. She actually waited for me outside the men's room. The rest of the morning was a cat and mouse game. At lunch, I escaped to the rooftop. Parker, I nearly jumped out of my skin. Miranda was there, elegantly sipping a coffee. She sat down next to me. My mood hasn't been great lately. Have a coffee with me. I obediently took the cup she offered. Is something troubling you? I asked politely. She nodded, pretending to ponder. There's a charity gala tonight, and they've invited me. I knew what was coming. You're coming with me. I was already thinking of excuses. Miranda looked at me. I'll give you a $10,000 bonus for tonight. Deal. My parents had really cut me off, and I had to survive somehow. Later that afternoon, the gossip Day 3.0 channel was buzzing again. Check Miranda's Insta story. Lol. Even the way her future boyfriend drinks coffee is cute. Is this the same so we know? I glanced at the coffee on my desk and subtly pushed it further away. Just then, Cole appeared with a tray of the exact same coffee for everyone. The channel lit up. Wait, it could actually be him. The coffee matches. I'd rather believe Miranda is being forced into it by her family. She's not the type to get this sappy over a guy. That night at the gala, I stood awkwardly in my tailored suit next to Miranda. As soon as we entered, wealthy suitors swarmed her. She politely refused every drink and deflected every advance by pushing me forward. You'll have to ask him if he likes it. What good does it do if I like it and not your boyfriend? I was looking for an escape when a hand clapped down hard on my shoulder. I instinctively slapped it back. It was Cole, in a white suit, glaring at me. What are you doing here? He hissed. I could ask you the same thing, I retorted. Ms. Priestley's date. Why are you? Miranda returned to my side. She looked at Cole, her face blank. And you are? I had to physically stop myself from laughing. Cole's outfit was so ridiculous even she didn't recognize him. Ms. Priestley, he said through a forced smile. In here for the gala too. Miranda paused, then delivered a devastating blow. In that case, the company will not be reimbursing your expenses. You came on your own time. I burst out laughing. Cole's face turned crimson. Ms. Priestley, I'm an employee too. Why the preferential treatment is stepped in? Because you spend all day trying to hit on the boss, while I spend all day thinking about how to help the company. That's the difference. You're talking nonsense, he fumed. You're the one with improper intentions. Miranda wrapped an arm around my shoulders, pulling me close. His intentions are improper because I allow them to be. In fact, I wish he had more of them. And you, who are you? The crowd around us pointed and whispered. Humiliated. Cole turned and fled. That night, after she dropped me home, I replayed the feeling of her hand on my shoulder. Hit a grip, Parker. He opened Instagram. Of course, there was a new story from Miranda. Caption: the flustered look on my future boyfriend's face is also adorable. I like it a lot. My already racing heart kicked into overdrive. The next morning, I called in sick for a week. The day after, Miranda set a new record in the company-wide Slack channel. What do you do when your boyfriend is sick? I nearly threw the ice cream I was eating across the room. Was she trying to expose me? Her employees offered a flood of advice, all agreeing she should go to his side and care for him personally. I wanted to crawl through the screen and stop them. Don't let her come here. Meanwhile, the gossip Day 3.0 detectives were on the case. Who could it be? He must be some rich heir. Everyone forget that Peter Parker called in sick today. No way. Parker ain't just a kid. This has to be about a strategic alliance. I don't know, the way she defended him at the gala was pretty intense. Then, she arrived. Miranda Priestley was at my door, holding a thermos of hot soup and some pastries. The smell filled my apartment. Where does it hurt? She asked, her eyes scanning the fever patch I had just stuck on my forehead. It feigned a weak voice. I have a cold, not cramps. I don't need that. Miranda looked slightly embarrassed. It's just soup. It'll warm you up. I had just finished a pint of ice cream, the empty container of which was in the trash can by my feet. I subtly kicked it under the sofa. She stepped closer, placing a hand on my forehead. You don't seem to have a fever anymore. I forced a laugh. The medicine must have kicked in. Her eyes drifted around my law. This is a nice place. The rent must be expensive. My heart stopped. This was one of the most exclusive buildings in the city. How could I explain this? Oh, I have 10 roommates. They're all influencers. They're out of town on a brand trip. Her gaze landed on the wall of designer sneakers. Those are all fakes, I said quickly. You know how influencers are. She smiled and nodded, her eyes then flicking to the Ferrari key fob on my coffee table. My blood ran cold. I snatched it up and placed it next to a Lego car model. It's just a model key, for the model car. She just kept smiling. After I finished the soup, she took the bowl and went to my kitchen to wash it. Watching her, I couldn't help but think that having a girlfriend like her wouldn't be so bad. Beautiful, carrying the perfect partner. But she was a Priestley. Their family was practically American royalty. What could they possibly see in my family? Lost in thought, I dozed off on the sofa. I woke up in my bed with a sharp pain in my stomach. My ulcer was acting up, punishment for the morning ice cream. I stumbled into the living room and found Miranda still there, working at my dining table. She must have carried me to bed. What's wrong? She asked, rushing to my side. She helped me back to bed. You ate ice cream, didn't you? Now you're paying the price. The pain was so bad tears welled in my eyes. She gently wiped them away and helped me drink some water. She was clumsy, but she was trying her best. She even called her doctor friend to make a house call. The friend, a woman who looked exhausted, took one look at me and rolled her eyes at Miranda. You dragged me all the way across town for an upset stomach. You really have it bad for this one, did you? After the doctor left, Miranda continued to dote on me. You faked being sick, and now you're actually sick, she said, her voice soft. She had seen right through me. To avoid further embarrassment, I pretended to be asleep. I woke up in the middle of the night to find her still there, sitting in a chair by my bed, watching over me. The slightest movement from me and her eyes would snap open. What is it? She'd whisper. I can't move, I said, which was a lie. Why not? I reached out from under the covers and took her hand. You can try to pursue me, I said. Maybe he'll say yes. Her eyes lit up. Are you serious? I nodded. Then you've figured. I nodded. She leaned down and kissed my forehead, a brilliant smile spreading across her face. Consider me successful then. I was stunned. I said you could try to pursue me. Miranda just smiled. Yes. And I succeeded. I was truly helpless against her. Miranda began her pursuit in earnest. She drove me to and from work. Gifts piled up in my apartment until my wall of designer goods had no space left. A week later, my mother, who had been radio silent, finally remembered she had a son. Mom, get home within the hour. Urgent. Before I could reply, another text came through. Mom, Pierre, someone is here to propose a marriage alliance. Your father and I are entertaining them. Get home now, I can't hold them off much longer. But what I was in the prime of my life, I texted back, not coming home. I refused to be part of some business marriage. My mother replied with a single question mark. Don't come home then. See if we care. Mom, Dad, I'm home, I announced, striding into the living room. I was dressed in the most ridiculous, mismatched outfit I could find, my hair styled into a monstrosity. My plan was to humiliate my parents and scare off any potential suitor. The room fell silent. But as my eyes adjusted, my jaw dropped. Sitting elegantly on our sofa, looking completely unfazed, was Miranda Priestley. My father was the first to recover. Oh, Miranda, my apologies. This is the new help we hired today. He's not used to being in the city, calls everyone mom and dad. Haha. He shoved me towards the back of the house. Go change into your work uniform. When I emerged, properly dressed, Miranda and my mother were chatting like old friends. Oh, Miranda, I'm so happy you're here, my mom was saying. Finally, someone is willing to take this troublesome boy off our hands. Later, Miranda and I went for a walk. She took my hand. When did you know I was from this family? I asked. Because I couldn't wait any longer, she said softly. I gave her a playful look. You're still on probation. You know, you need to perform well. Her eyes were tender enough to drown in. Of course. Why fine. That very day, she announced our engagement on her Instagram, with a photo of our shadows as we walked together. Finally found him. The company went into a frenzy. Paul Hockley, upon hearing the news, was fired for causing a scene in the CEO's office. Why are you firing me? He shrieked. Emily, the lead assistant, glared at him. You do nothing all day but gossip and harass people. Would be better off with a potted plant. You're fired. You can't fire me, Cole yelled. Do you know who got me this job? Do you know what my relationship with Miranda is? I stepped forward. The relationship of a complete stranger. I walked right up to him. At the gala, I thought you would have gotten the hint. She can't even recognize you under all that makeup you wear. What makes you think she'd ever be interested in you? In rage, he swung at me. Big mistake. I'm a black belt in Taekwondo. I dodged, twisted his arm behind his back, and swept his legs out from under him. He hit the floor with a loud thud, wailing in pain. Just then, the elevator doors opened, and Miranda walked in. The entire office froze. Priestley, help me, Cole cried from the floor. This man attacked me. Miranda walked towards us, a frown on her face. Cole looked up hopefully. She looked down at him with disdain, then turned to me, helping me out. Did he hurt you? She didn't even look at Cole. I shook my head. Miranda took my hand as Cole stared up at us in disbelief. Miranda, why are you protecting him? She finally glanced down at Cole. Why are you still here? I believe I told her to process your termination this morning. The entire assistant pool was watching, their eyes darting between me and Miranda. I was calm now. The secret was out. Cole was still pleading as security arrived and dragged him away. Miranda, still holding my hand, turned to her staff. I'd like to introduce you all to someone, she said, her voice clear and steady. This is my fiancé, Peter Parker. After we got engaged, I moved into Miranda's penthouse. I expected a life of passionate, sweet romance. As it turned out, she was incredibly traditional. For all her worldly confidence, she was surprisingly innocent. Even during our most heated kisses, she would pull back, always in control. After a month of this, I couldn't take it anymore. She walked around the house with every button done up. That night, I pulled her down onto the sofa. "I want to see the real you," I whispered. Miranda raised an eyebrow. "You're only allowed to look." "I don't just want to look," I said. "I want to touch." She laughed, a low, husky sound, and pinched my side. "You little devil." But she slowly began to unbutton her shirt. She stopped at the third button. "You do the rest." I reached for her, but she stopped my hand. "Turn off the lights first." The moment I hit the switch, it was like a different switch flipped in her. In the darkness, she moved with a newfound confidence. A sudden weight pressed me down, and her lips found mine in a kiss that was both possessive and thrilling. "Just relax, darling," she whispered, her voice a velvet purr in the dark. "You don't have to do anything. I'll take care of everything." The next morning, my entire body ached. I finally understood the meaning of "be careful what you wish for." I was wrapped in her arms, her chest rising and falling steadily against me. "You're awake," she murmured, her sleepy voice sending shivers down my spine. I tried to slip away, but her arms tightened around me. "It's still early. Let's sleep a little more." Sleep? I wouldn't be able to sleep for a week. This woman had no idea how terrifying she was last night. "Don't you want to know when I first started noticing you?" she asked. I paused. It was true. She had been the pursuer from the very beginning. "The day you started working for me," she said with a small smile. "It was love at first sight." "You don't really believe in that, do you?" I scoffed. "I used to live on the Upper West Side," she said, changing the subject. Suddenly, a memory sparked. "When I was a child, I spent a summer with my grandmother. I remember now. You were the girl next door who played the piano so beautifully." Miranda sighed. "Finally. You remember. You were always sick back then. You wore a mask all the time. That's why I didn't recognize you." A pause. "Back then, I had worshipped her like an older sister, following her around, trying to learn everything she did. There was never a romantic thought in my head." Miranda pulled me even closer. "Well, I don't want to be your sister." Her leg slid over mine, trapping me. "I want to be your everything." I groaned. It was too late to run. "Miranda Priestley, you are an absolute menace."